On. So, Sam, congratulations on the film. Now, you have an extensive writing and credits yourself, um, and this is a Richard Curtis script,
Yeah,
who is no slouch himself in that
right.
field. So, were you able to have any input into the script yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, you're right that this is the first time I'm directing something I didn't write, and that was really a fun process to go through, I think, especially with Richard, where, yeah, certainly he and I talked about the script a lot, and I had certain thoughts or ideas, and we worked on it together quite a bit. But obviously, with him doing the work, because again, it's like if you have Richard Curtis and he can do it, then why not? The way he sees the world is so unique and magical and everything, and so really it was sort of fun to walk this line of like, okay, I want to put my stamp on this as a director, as a filmmaker, but also I want it to be a Richard Curtis movie. You know what I mean? I think you know I have a tremendous amount of love and nostalgia for what that means to people, a movie being a Richard Curtis movie. And it was fun to kind of try to step into that and again, bring a little bit of myself to it, but get what's incredible about those movies and help bring it to life.
Now, there is a line in this which kind of leapt off, leapt off the screen to me, and that's the one where a character returns from hell,
Uh-huh.
and there's a line which says, "The devil looks like Ricky Gervais."
Yes.
Now, who is it that doesn't
Who
like
wrote
Ricky
it?
Gervais? Is it you or is it Richard?
That I have no comment on. You can ask Richard about that one. I don't know.
Right.
That's funny. But yeah, no, I mean, I think, uh, yeah, see what Richard says. I don't know. That's funny.
You're going to keep a diplomatic silence on this
I
one.
personally, I'm a fan of Ricky's, and I think there was just, I think Richard is too. It was just a funny, to us, a funny image.
Okay, so you've got Melissa McCarthy in this as well. Now, she started off as a stand-up comedian. I'm just wondering how much degree of improvisation she was allowed to do in the film.
Yeah, I mean a lot. I think to me that yeah, Melissa started kind of in improv comedy and obviously there's a sort of anything goes freedom to that. And I think if I had cast Melissa McCarthy in a movie and said don't improvise, I should basically be like asked to leave the film industry. I would think personally because it's her improv is a gift and the way that she can kind of bring new lines and new ideas and new scenes to the table is always really fun, and my job is to kind of sift through all that stuff, everything from Richard, everything from my head, everything from Melissa and Papa, and kind of filter it all through and try to make it all cohesive. But I think definitely it was an environment where improv was encouraged, all the way through, and so many gems and so many funny lines or cool little things in the movie came from that spontaneity, came from Melissa, yeah, having total freedom to kind of you know to run with it. But again, obviously, it's like Richard wrote this very kind of precise and thoughtful script. So I think for Melissa too, and for me, and for everybody, there was a consciousness of like, hey, this isn't just I'm like an improv comedy guy and we're all just finding this together. It was almost kind of splitting the difference where you're sort of starting with something by one of our great writers who put a lot of work into it, but then also Richard knows and I know and Melissa knows that the best version of anything is when you can make it feel alive on set and push it even further than that. So it was a sort of combination of it was, yeah, just threading that needle of finding new stuff and new fun ways to take cracks at it, but also always having this sort of core respect for and love of the script that Richard had written.
Now, though this is a Christmas movie, um, it's obviously not shot at Christmas, and you've got scenes in Times Square by the look of it. Not the easiest place, I should imagine, A, to shoot, and B, to shoot a Christmas movie in. Was that the case with this?
It was the case, yeah, and it was a kind of combination of we shot early this year in New York, so we were really out on the streets, but obviously, yeah, we had to bring some Christmas dressing with us and stuff like that, and we had actually gone out, when it was Christmas and gotten a bunch of shots that are kind of across the movie, B-roll shots and stuff like that to kind of fill out the world. But yeah, it was funny. I mean, luckily, at least it was still winter. I think there's sometimes Christmas movies where they have to shoot it in the summer, and I shot an episode of a TV show that was really fun, but it was set at Christmas, and we were shooting in Atlanta in July or something. So it was like everything's green. It's like a total nightmare. Luckily, it was at least winter, and it's funny you mentioned Times Square, because actually even with that scene, that was the first scene Melissa shot in the whole movie.
Oh, right.
And it was day 2 of filming, and it was also the first time all year, including Christmas, that it snowed while we were shooting that movie. So that's all real snow, and there's fake snow elsewhere in the movie. But that felt like kind of an omen or kind of kismet that, literally the first scene is, we got to get Melissa into Times Square. We're doing everything that you can imagine that entails, which is, we didn't shut down Times Square, because that's impossible. I don't even, maybe James Cameron could shut down Times Square or something, but I think it's pretty hard. And so we're all there, and people are kind of screaming and crying, seeing Melissa, and they love her. And, it was like Beatlemania or something. People love her so much when they see that it's her. And then, it just started snowing. So we got very lucky with that one, and it was really fun to do.
So finally then, I think this is your first kind of proper Christmas movie that you've done.
Yeah.
But in the great pantheon of Christmas movies, what is your go-to Christmas movie?
I love so many Christmas movies, and obviously there are a couple that I was thinking about a lot for this movie, and then others that I just love personally. I would say, for this movie, we were thinking a lot about Elf. We were thinking a lot about Home Alone 2, which is such a kind of great New York Christmas movie. And then, obviously Richard made Love Actually, which is, a total classic. And It's a Wonderful Life, which obviously is one of the best movies ever. I guess for two kind of lesser known ones, which are not for kids. Obviously our movie very much is for kids, but it's kind of anti-Christmas movies, but Bad Santa is a movie that I think is so funny and that I watch kind of every year. And then honestly, there's a movie called The Ref that is really funny from the 90s that perversely I grew up watching. Both of those are kind of black comedies for adults set around Christmas, but I can't imagine how many kids are watching junket interviews. So I guess for any adults watching, I'm saying watch those. If you're a kid, don't watch those movies. Watch Genie instead, because it's for kids, for everybody, for families. And
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
I brought it back around.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, and congratulations on the film. Thank you.
Thank you. Likewise.